Right. Hello, what's up, strugglers? Hope you're having a lovely, what day is today? Monday. I worked pretty late yesterday, so I wasn't super familiar with what day it is today. It's still really weird for me doing live videos. Hopefully, this goes fairly okay for you. Anyways, so today's topic is going to be a little bit different. Um, Gosh, I don't even know what I'm saying. I needed to make a video. So here I am trying to make a live video, and I really don't know what I'm doing. I just listened to a couple podcasts, and they talked about failure in life, and I thought, boy, you know what? I've experienced a lot of that. Um, I just recorded a whole video about failing, and I failed in the process of filming that and making that video. It was bad. It was really bad. I because I film everything with my phone, and yeah, editing it isn't super fun, and being able to go back and zoom in and out isn't easy. I just use Windows Movie Maker, which no longer is supported. I just use that to do everything I do when filming a video, and it's way more difficult than I ever thought it would be, especially now as I'm trying to develop way more skills. Um, when it comes to filming things, but yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, so I want to talk about a couple things, and the first topic is the main idea of this whole video, and is the title, which is that failure is not an option; it's mandatory, and that's the truth of it. Is that we all have to fail at some point in our lives, and some of us, frankly, we fail a lot. I think we all probably fail way more than we want to admit and come to terms with. I just failed my stats class. If you're watching this and you've been watching my channel, you know for like the past 16 weeks, I've been stressing about this stats class. And we just took the final, and I've been hovering around this D mark. I was doing A-OK on everything, enough to pass and be just fine. And then it was just out of the blue, my teacher thought one of the quizzes I took wasn't very good. There was only 2 questions on it, and it was worth 10 points. So I got one question on it right, and the other one I didn't get quite right. So I had a 50%, which is a D. It's failing. So I failed that, and that dropped my grade from being in a solid like D-ish to being an F. And everything I was doing in the test, it brought me up to the point where I was 1.7% away from passing the class. And I begged my teacher if I could do anything to try and, just get the extra $1.30 just to get a D to pass the class. And she told me, no, you suck as a student and you don't know what you're doing. So if that's not failure, I guess I don't know what failure is, because that definitely was it. It was really hard trying to come to grips with that, because you spend all this money in college, and then you have to spend freaking 16 weeks doing this class, and then you fail it, and you realize you've wasted so much time and money. But at the same time, did you really waste that money? I can definitely say I know more about statistics now than I did before, which is a good thing, right? I mean, inevitably, like Thanos, I am going to have to go and take this stats class again. And, I've come to grips with it. I'm fine with it now, I suppose. But I think I'll do way better. I know now what I didn't know before. I'm really bad at math, so I guess taking the class twice would be a good thing. Um, my girlfriend and I have discussed maybe I should go take the class in person. That might actually end up being a better choice for me in the end. But there's this idea I was listening to someone talk the other day about biases, and it just rung a bell in my head about my stats class and failing it and things like that and being spent. The main idea I had was that I spent money on this class. I spent time. Now, imagine this. You're walking with your sweetheart, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. You're walking downtown to a movie you have reserved at whatever o'clock. You guys are just walking, and you look, and there's a little riverbank, a bench seat, a dude selling some hot dogs and sodas that are cheap, but they're good. And the sun's setting, and it's just perfect outside. It looks gorgeous. And you realize If you were to stop here with your significant other to watch the sunset, you're going to miss your movie. And you tell your girlfriend that, and you say, I want to stay here and watch the sunset. But she tells you, well, we already spent $20 on the movie. We might as well go watch it. This is where there's this bias, this weird fallacy that everyone does things with. You spent $20 on this movie. Those $20 is non-recoverable. It no longer exists. It's spent. Therefore, it does not mean anything to you anymore. Because it is spent, it's away, it's gone. It doesn't affect you anymore. Versus, here's a bill and I have $20 in my pocket. I have to spend it. But once it is spent, it's no longer your money. It's no longer your responsibility. You no longer have to deal with it. But we let that affect our lives constantly. I spent money on this class. Money's no longer mine. It's the school's. So I should not keep looking at it as this problem of, oh, I spent the money. It's gone. What do I do now? It's gone. That's all it is. It's gone. It's bye-bye. Zippo nada. And that's where we got to look at it. We have to understand there are plenty of things in life that are just gone. They're not going to show back up. It's like money. People refer to it as a ball. Sometimes it rolls towards you. Sometimes it rolls away, but you never truly have it. Probably I'm not quoting that right, but that's the way I remember it. But what do? We have to come to grips and accept the fact that not everything is here to stay. I got really mad when Monster decided to stop making the energy drink I really like, which is the Monster Mule. Because I thought it was probably the best one they ever had, and I don't think they're ever going to make it again. And I emailed them about it, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, suck it up," which isn't really what I want to hear. But again, that's the answer you have to have. Just suck it up. You're not going to get that energy drink back. You're not going to get any of this stuff back. It's over. It's gone. That's it. Call it quits and get the heck over it, because you're not going to get anything else from it. It's gone. And I keep saying that. I know, and I'm sure it's tedious, but it's gone. The 90s, the 80s, they're gone. There are still remnants and artifacts of that time, those experiences around today, but someday even those will be gone. They'll be spent, no longer exist. Therefore, we can't let those spent experiences dictate what we do. We can allow them to influence future decisions and behaviors and perhaps emotions, but they should never dictate, command, and totally tell you how to live your life and what you're doing. This will lead you into horrible ramifications later in your life. If you make a string of bad decisions at one period of your life, well, if you let every one of those decisions and their consequences dictate what you do for the next 10 years, it's just going to be a cyclical cycle. You'll keep making a mistake and go back to the mistake, make a mistake. You'll just keep going round and around and around and around until you're screwed. You don't have anywhere else to go, and everything you know is spent and gone, and you're stuck. But you keep repeating that kind of process. So we just have to understand that when something is spent, it's gone. It no longer affects us or means anything. We can let it influence us, and we can look at it as a learned experience and move on from that. But we can't bring it back from the dead. It's not music. Music is something you do until it's dead. You bury it and dig it up and do it some more. It's just kind of how it is, and fashion's kind of like that too. But there's certain styles when it comes to lifestyles, certain lifestyles. There's certain ways of speaking, news, art that won't come back because they're just capsulated. They're bottled in a certain time with a certain context, which is a kind of context that can never be recreated because the chemicals, the ingredients don't exist anymore. the way that they did then. Like certain places in like Rome and Greece and Italy, a lot of those experiences and art that came out of that will never repeat. We'll never get those again because the world has changed and evolved into something else. There's a reason why the 20th century and the 21st century, Y2K was happening. People were freaking out because it was obvious that the 21st century is going to be a drastically different experience than anything that was in the 20th century. I need to get a drink. And people really did understand that when something was spent, it was gone. You're never going to get it back. You failed at it is mainly what this is about. You made a failure. You spent time, experience, money, whatever it is on something. You failed at it. You lost it. You're not going to get it back. Either you can keep trying again to succeed, which is one of the reasons why America is so great. People can keep trying and trying and trying and trying until they succeed, unlike other places where you try once or twice and then you're done. You can never do it again. But nonetheless, it's that you keep trying, you can do it again, but you'll keep spending things to do that. But you can't keep looking at everything as, oh, I did this, this, and this, and I spent so much time and energy, I might as well finish it. No. If you're done, you're done. That's it. Unless, like for me, I would drop out if I got a whole bunch of money, like won the lottery. I'm not a betting man because, I think the lottery and things like that, I don't believe in luck or shiny pieces of paper, so it's not something I'm ever going to do. But for other people, hey, if you want to donate $1 billion to me, cool. If I got 100,000 or $1 million, whatever it may be, I'd probably just drop out of college, invest all the money I can, work constantly, and grow that and invest it and just grow it until I can give it out and just help the people around me, which is all I really want to do with money. Because the most thing I want for my life is I'd like to have a very specific car because I think cars are fun. I'd like to have a very specific cell phone, and that'd be about it. I don't have too many other needs or wants, but I want to go help everyone else. So, anyways, but the reason why I'm just not going to quit college now, unless I got all that money, is because I have debts. I have obligations and responsibilities that I have to jump into as soon as I'm done with college. If I had money, I can fill those debts. I can fill some of those responsibilities and things I have to do. Therefore, it's not a matter of, well, I spent this experience, I didn't like it, I'm going to leave it and, just forget about it. I can't quite do that because as soon as I'm done with this experience, whether I fail it or not, there's still consequences. There's still other things that are coming right after that in like some kind of sequential order. It's going to come this way. It's going to hit me and I'm going to have to deal with it. So I can't leave. But for other people, you know what? They're just doing college because they want to try it out. Someone said they should do it. So they sign up. They're going through the first semester. They don't like it. They're not in debt. They don't have to have a degree to do a specific job. Maybe they already have like CDL or they know how to weld. Their dad's going to give them a job doing plumbing. Whatever job you're going to do, doesn't matter. You can leave that. Sure, you spent $500, $1,500 for that semester of classes, but you're done. It's spent. You don't have to worry about it. And there's nothing else that's going to come from that experience. Just look at it as an experience, not as something where, well, I did half a semester. I might as well do a full semester. I did a full semester. I might as well do 3, 4, 5 a year and then get your bachelor's and master's and you walk out and you're still lost and you don't know what you're doing, which is another one of those things where failure is not an option. It's mandatory. We're all going to fail everything. Life is just a giant I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but it's just a giant mess. No one knows what they're doing. Life. Hello, Vanessa. How are you doing? I decided to do this show right now, just like on the whim. So I'm coming up with a lot of stuff off the top of my head. So I apologize if this is a really weird show and I'm rambling a whole lot, but I'm typically good at rambling things. I'm doing all right. I'm good. I'm good. I'm doing all right. It's good to see you're doing well. But so today we're talking about, I know. Today we're talking a lot about how life is just a mess. We're all in this big ball of failure. But failure is not an option, it's mandatory. We're all going to fail something. And, you know, did you know 95% of all college students actually fail at least one class? So I thought when I failed the class, when I failed my stats class, that I was just this total failure in life and I had nothing going for me. But the reality was is that I'm just like everyone else. I failed the class, get over it, do it again, which is what everyone else has to do. And that's what life is full about. It's all these things, all these experiences we have to go through where when we fail something. Oh, yes, my girlfriend just commented saying I didn't fail a class. Thank you, Michelle. I'm glad you didn't fail a class, but 95% of the rest of us out there did fail a class. But gosh, you guys are throwing me off. What I'm trying to say is that there is no set way for us to live our lives. There's no blueprint. There's better ways to live our life and worse ways to live our life. But in the end, we all fail. When you're riding a bike, you have to fall at some point. So then you learn not to fall. Just like a kid, the reason you don't put your hand on the burner of a stove is because at some point as a kid, you did it when it was red hot, you burned yourself and said, that's a bad thing. I don't like the experience, so I'm not going to do it again. We have to fail at certain things. We have to lose at certain things so we understand the entire concept of what is going in with that activity. If we all just won all the time and got participation trophies and things, we wouldn't learn anything. Our lives would just be spent looking in the mirror in selfies saying how sexy and cool we all look to each other while we literally sat around and did nothing all day. Our lives would be filled with nothing because there'd be nothing to drive us. That's why a lot of politicians and really rich people get fat and they just sit around all the time, is because there's nothing to drive them. They've reached the top. They have nothing else to go for them. But then you see people like Elon Musk, who's the billionaire for Tesla and all these other companies, and he just keeps going forward and forward and forward. Yeah, he's like $23 billion in the bank. But the reason he keeps going forward and forward is because he's not limiting himself. He's trying to reach Mars and all these other places. So for you, don't set your standards so low. Like, you know, I have to get this A on a test. Otherwise, I'm a complete failure. That's not how it works. Yeah, but I talked about the spent bias. Now we'll talk about like status symbols. A lot of people get status symbols because I don't know, they like it. There's a reason why I had my girlfriend save these Starbucks cups, because Starbucks is a status symbol for a lot of people. It's not about people actually enjoying the product. It's more about just having it. There's a reason people show off their cars or what they're drinking in a coffee cup, or what kind of phone they have, because it's all a status symbol because they don't know what else to do. But anyway, I'm going to cut the show. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I decided just to do a live stream. Probably the worst live stream I've done, but hey, it was fun while it lasted. I'll see you guys later.